Welcome to 10 at 10. I have a special guest with me today. This is Pam Gomez. And I love these times where, Pam, where we can have times where we just talk with one another, because you hear people's stories and you just hear about the goodness of God and the faithfulness of God. And Pam, we're in the middle of 30 days of thanks. And we're just kind of posing the question to different people to answer, what happens when I'm thankful? Mm-hmm. And you and I have already had a dialogue, and I was personally touched by that, of just different things. You talked about a whole myriad of things that can happen when we're thankful. And so I'm going to just kind of turn it over to you. We're going to have a dialogue together. You just be a part of this time with us. And we're just going to see what God unfolds of you answering this question for us.
Okay, sounds good. Being thankful keeps me in a positive state of mind. I look forward to more things to come that I can be thankful for. Let's see here, it keeps me going more...
It's okay.
I get nervous, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So it helps you to be in a positive state of mind.
Yes. And
what are some of the other things?
I'm thankful for knowing what's to come. So there are things in my life, it's faith. It can lead to faith. And things like when I was a child, for instance, I was homeless. And I lived in a tent for a while with my parents, and they had always made the best of everything. One of my favorite memories as a child is in that tent, my mom took us to go get a Happy Meal toy. And in that Happy Meal toy, there was stockings that they had given out for Christmas. Yeah. So she had made it such a wonderful time in the tent where she hung up the stockings and made it a memorable good time for me and my sister. Yeah. So I am thankful for the roof over my head that I have now. Yeah. And that I can spend Christmas in my home with my children. And, you know, in that time, faith keeps you going.
It does.
Being thankful for the littlest thing as a stocking, or, you know, the time we spent as a family. It doesn't matter where you were. You're spending time with your family.
With your family. So, you know, Pam, you think about it. What you just shared is so powerful, because you even shared that in the middle of a setting that might have been less than ideal, you can even look back and see how your mom she did her best to make the holidays special. Yes. And I love the way you even have the perspective that you look back at that, and you said she hung the stockings. There's something so powerful about having a perspective of being thankful and seeing the good in things. And then over the course of time now, you can just see God's faithfulness. And you say, now I have a roof over my head. Now when we sit around a tree, we're in our home. But really what I hear you saying is that it's the little things that you're thankful for. It's like I'm sure you've had big things happen, but really from the perspective that you're grateful for the small things. And particularly from where you've come from, it helps that. You just kind of go, man, I'm grateful for the little things in life that have a big impact. What are some other things that you look at that you go, man, that makes me thankful? Like your children, or just different, what can you share? It's powerful when you hear from your heart how you're thankful.
I think by me, this happening to me, I had taught my kids to be thankful for everything, anything. I am thankful for my kids, the way every Christmas, they sometimes will say to me, Mom, I don't need anything. I don't want anything. So I'm thankful for that experience that I had. I can actually experience with my kids, or just to teach them, you know, things aren't to to be thankful. It's the
It's not the
time
material
spent.
thing
Yes,
so much.
it's not the material
There's
things.
more to it than that. So,
Yeah.
so I interrupted you. I'm sorry. It's the time spent.
It's the time spent, and it's just the little things. It's not about the gifts on Christmas. It was more about like spending time with one another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really see that in your life as well, just an appreciation for family members. And if you think about it, there's something about when we're able to really reflect on what matters, things that don't matter, there's still a blessing.
Right.
So God, you still are grateful for things, but you're able to put things in perspective that it's the people that I'm with that matter.
Yeah.
It's the relationships I have. It's maybe the health I have. It's things like that, almost like they're tangible, but they're the intangibles.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right. So, yeah. I mean, I'm thankful for so many things in my life. So many things. My husband, of course, my children, the food on my table, the car I drive, just everything.
Yeah. And so let's talk about some of those inward things. You talked about that faith can be a component with Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But are there some other things like maybe hope or maybe like joy? Are there some other things that happen on the inside maybe when you're thankful?
Yeah. Knowing what's to come in the future, you can having your faith and being thankful for things that you asked for a long time ago, let's just say.
Yeah.
You've asked for things and you get it and you're just so thankful for it, and it's because you hoped for it and you had faith that it could happen. And knowing God will provide for you regardless, and just having that positive state of mind behind it, and having that hope. Yeah.
I think what I hear you saying as well is when we're thankful, it opens things up. So in other words, you said you look at the future with a hopefulness. You look at the future through the eyes of faith because you've seen God answer things from the past.
Yes.
And so really, it's, if you think about it, and I heard you say this when we discussed this before, that Thanksgiving affects the past, it affects the present,
and
the future. That's right. It's all encompassing, isn't it?
It is.
And so, Pam, I just want to thank you for just sharing in this time. And I'm sure there'll be times in the future where we can talk more. Yeah. But there's such power in our individual stories, and such power in us sharing maybe those intimate things in life, that hope is there for someone else.
Yeah. Faith
can rise for someone else. And so I just want to thank you for just sharing just a tidbit of your testimony with us today.
Of course, I'm blessed to share my story.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And hopefully it can help somebody realize that, you keep your faith, keep being thankful, because it's a chain reaction of all these things that come together. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Great way to finish it. So guys, we're so thankful that you've joined us today. We are confident that this is just ministering hope to you, encouraging you to just open up Thanksgiving more in your life, to stop and to think and to reflect on the way that God has been good to you. And so we hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you at our next 10 at 10.